Think about the last time you bought your favorite drink. Was it absolutely perfect? Or was it, just a little too sweet, maybe a little weak? That tiny difference is actually a huge problem for the beverage industry. So today, we're going to dive into how one company, TEDIA, is using some seriously smart tech to solve it, guaranteeing that perfect pour every single time.
So let's just start with this question. What if the real secret to that perfect drink wasn't a secret recipe, but a piece of software? What if it was all down to an algorithm? That's the big idea we're going to unpack right now.
Okay, so to really get what makes this a revolution, we first have to talk about the problem. And it's a big one. It's all about consistency, something every single beverage chain on the planet struggles with every day. We have all been there, right? You order your go-to drink, and it looks amazing, just like this one. The color is perfect, the layers are just right, it looks exactly how you imagined it. But here's the million-dollar question. Does it actually taste the same as the one you got yesterday or the one you're going to get tomorrow from a different location? Probably not. And that little inconsistency, it's a massive headache for these brands. See, it all comes down to a brand's promise, that promise of a specific taste. But behind the counter, they're fighting a constant war with inconsistent ingredient pours, slow service when it gets busy, having to find and keep highly trained staff, and the really big one, trying to grow the brand without the quality falling off a cliff. It's a mess. Now, I know what you're thinking. Just automate it. Problem solved. And yeah, a lot of companies have tried. But it turns out traditional automation has this hidden, fatal flaw that almost everyone has been missing. And this quote from TEDIA's own research, man, it says it all. Most of the drink machines out there today are basically using technology that hasn't changed since the 1950s. Seriously, they might have a fancy touchscreen on the front, but the engine inside is ancient. And this slide right here breaks down that fatal flaw perfectly. The old tech on the left is super simple. You run a pump for, say, 2 seconds, and you expect to get the same amount of liquid every time. But here's what they forget on the right: viscosity. It's just how thick or thin a liquid is, and that changes all the time with temperature. A syrup in a warm kitchen flows way differently than one that just came out of the fridge. And the impact of ignoring that, it's staggering. This number shows it all. That little change in temperature and thickness can lead to a huge error. For just one drink, the old tech can be off by as much as 17.5 grams. To put that in perspective, that's almost 4 teaspoons of sugar. That is more than enough to completely ruin the taste of your drink. So if the old way is just fundamentally broken, what's the solution? Well, this is where TEDIA comes in, with a totally different way of thinking. It's not about building a better pump. It's about building a smarter brain. This chart shows that huge philosophical shift. Traditional machines are hardware first. The machine is just a dumb tool, and it's limited by its own physical parts. But TEDIA is software first. The machine is a dynamic platform, and its potential is basically unlimited because you can keep making it smarter with software updates. And this is their secret sauce. It's a patented technology they call microsecond-level dynamic capture and adjustment. So what does that actually mean? In simple terms, there's a super-sensitive weight sensor that's constantly measuring the liquid as it pours, and it's talking to the software in real time, making thousands of tiny corrections to the pump to make sure it hits the exact target weight. It doesn't matter if the syrup is warm, cold, thick, or thin. Honestly, the best way to think about it is this awesome analogy they use. The software is the conductor, right? It's intelligently reading the situation. And the hardware, all the pumps and sensors, that's the orchestra, perfectly following the conductor's lead to create a perfect symphony, or, in this case, a perfect drink, every single time. So how does it manage to be both incredibly precise and fast? Through this really clever process called the whitelist mechanism. First, the system learns the flow properties of each ingredient. Once it knows an ingredient is stable, it adds it to a whitelist. This is the key to speed, because whitelisted ingredients can all be poured at the same time. But here's the really genius part. If anything changes, like an employee refills a syrup which changes its temperature, the system knows instantly, kicks that ingredient off the whitelist, and goes back to relearning it. accuracy is never, ever compromised for speed.
Okay, so the theory is brilliant, but what about the results, like in the real world? Well, this is where TEDIA's tech goes from just impressive to an absolute game changer, especially in three key areas: precision, speed, and scale. First, let's talk precision. In real-world tests with fructose, which is one of the hardest ingredients to get right, the results were just stunning. Over 97% of the time, the machine's error was less than 1 single gram. Let me be clear. That level of accuracy is completely unheard of in this industry. All right, so it's precise. But with all that measuring and adjusting, it's gotta be slow, right? Nope. The record for making a complex 500 milliliter drink is just 6 seconds. That's faster than the most experienced human barista you've ever seen. And finally, what does all this precision and speed actually mean for a business? It means you can scale. This tech becomes a growth engine. One of TEDIA's partners was able to open over 2,500 new stores in a single year. That kind of rapid growth, without sacrificing quality, was just impossible before. And here's how they pulled off that crazy growth. Because the machine handles all the consistency, you don't need highly skilled staff anymore. You can take a brand new employee and they can be fully trained in making perfect drinks in just 1 hour. This solves one of the biggest bottlenecks in the entire food and beverage industry. And this isn't just some local solution either. The technology was built for global scale right from the start. It's earned a whole bunch of international safety and security certifications, from Europe to the US, proving it's ready to go in pretty much any market in the world. So as we start to wrap this up, it's pretty clear this is about way more than just a single machine. This is a fundamental shift in how we even think about making and managing fresh drinks. And this final quote just perfectly captures that huge shift in thinking. TEDIA didn't just build a better drink maker, they built a data platform. Every pour, every ingredient, every drink sold, it's all tracked. That gives businesses these incredible insights for managing their stores, their supply chain, you name it. Which leaves us with one final, pretty fascinating question to think about. If your perfect, unique drink order can be turned into a set of data points and then made with near-perfect accuracy anywhere in the world, what does the future of hyper-personalization really truly taste like?